Hi guys, today we are going to discuss about retargeting the custom characters with IK rig, that is motion matching. This tutorial explains how to use IK rig and IK retargeter to transfer animations from one character to another character or our custom character and prepare them correctly for motion matching. It covers setting up chains, poses and root motion so retarget animations work smoothly inside the motion matching system. Agenda of this tutorial is introduction and setup of the source and target characters, defining the target chains like spine, arms, leg, head, etc. Configuring the IK Targeter asset like mapping source scenes to target scenes, previewing and exporting target animations, testing the result of the editor viewport, fixing the mismatches if any, and then finally we will be able to prepare the retargeted character for using in Unreal motion matching pipeline. Why do we need retargeting? What happens if custom character skeletal joints are not properly mapped with source character? Here is the example. If you look at here, we have two kinds of skeletons. On the left side, mannequin character has more joints along with twisting joints, whereas our custom character has fair number of less joints on each limb. In that case, if the each limb joints are not properly mapped, the character may be distorted while it is getting animated. This is a classical example. If you look at the mannequin character, when it was retargeted with mannequin animations, it was completely distorted, and the root of this minion character is also not following the mannequin character. This is one classical example of the custom character distorted because of the joint limbs are not properly mapped with the basic skeleton available in third person character. Here the minion character root is not properly mapped with the third person character skeleton. That is the reason it is falling behind. Irrespective of the more number of joints on one skeleton and less number of joints on another character skeleton, we need to match each and every limb. So right hand to right hand, left hand to left hand. So this way we have to match each and every joint chain perfectly irrespective of the variation in the number of joints. For this tutorial, we are going to use Unreal 5.7 third person template default project. So here is our third person template project. We have already imported this boy character which was compiled with proper textures and materials applied over it. It has three basic components, skeletal mesh and physics asset and boy skeleton. These three components are very much necessary in the retargeting process. Let us copy this boy character in the motion matching folder. Copy, and also copy the mannequin simple character in the motion matching folder, which is source and the target. So copy here. So we have these both characters. Now we need to create IK rigs for the both source and the target characters. For this we have to right click on this content browser, animation, we have retargeting options. Here initially we have to create IK rig. We have to create this IK rig for both source and the target character. So right click on this content browser, animation, retargeting, IK rig. So I rename this IK underscore base char. So double click on this. So here we have a green button, import hierarchy. We need to mention the character type. So click on that. So mesh, here we will mention the SKM Queen simple as the base character. You can also specify SKM man is simple, which is the main character. SKM Queen is the children character of this, but actually you can mention any one of that. So I mention SKM Queen simple. Yeah, say OK. So if you see here, you will see the character in this viewport. On the left side you will see the joints hierarchy. The same way we have to create this IK rig for the target character also. So, just click animation IK retargeting IK rig. I rename this as IK underscore target char. This is IK rig for the target character. Just click on that. Same way you click on this import hierarchy button and add the target character boy. So, click on that. So, you have the boy character. So, this boy character has less number of joints compared with the basic character. We are going to map these limbs even though it has less joints, so that the motion will be perfectly matched on par with the base character. That is the purpose of this tutorial. Next, we need to define the limbs and other appendages that will be transferred during the retargeting process on both the source and the target characters. So, if you look at here, we have to define. So, this is leg, this is spine, this is left hand, this is right hand, neck and head for this both characters. So, let us open the base character. So, this is IK base character. So, here we will see the hierarchy, and similarly we will open the this target character as well. This is IK target character. So, we have the hierarchical chain. We need to create different limbs. So, generally if you look at these skeleton, there are certain major chain joints. At center we have spine, on the both sides we have right and left leg, and at the below the pelvis we have both legs, and we have a neck joint above the chest area, and we have a head joint over the neck. So, these are all the major chains. So, if you look at here, so these are all the major chains that generally we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chains, 2 hands, 2 legs, neck, head and spine. So, these are all the major chains that we need to create. So, here in Unreal 5.7 an update is available, that is auto create retarget chains. If you create on this, if you click on that auto create retarget chains, and we will see on this right side IK retargeting, we are seeing a couple of chains automatically created instantly, but we may not require all these number of chains. So, out of these multiple chains we can keep the required chains only. So, like we have this left index metacarpal, which is probably end chains, we can discard by clicking this trash icon. So, we have 3 metacarpal chains for this left hand. Similarly, we have 4 more metacarpal chains that may not be required in this retargeting process, and we have a root. For this mannequin character, the root is at the ground level. So, for the characters imported from Mixamo, the root will be at this pelvis area. So, that is the major difference we have to understand. So, we have root, spine, neck, head, left leg, left clavicle, left arm, left thumb. So, index, middle, ring, pinky, leg, clavicle, right arm, right thumb. So, these are all the chains we require for the target character also. So, it is always advisable to give the same kind of names, so that the system will automatically map the chains, and less mapping work we need to manually do later. So, if the names are different, we have to specify which chain is for what, that aligns perfectly. So, here we will see different columns. The first column is the name of the chain, the second column is the starting bone, and the third column is the ending joint. In between there may be many number of joints. Sometimes the base character may be having more joints, and sometimes the target character having more joints in between the start bone and the end bone, but the name of the chain will be treated as one unit, quite opposite to the target and the base character. Let us also create join chains for the target character by pressing auto create target chains button. Here if you look at this retargeting tab, so chains have been created instantaneously. So here we don't have extra joints like twist joints and other finger end joints. We have only necessary joints like this spine, neck, head, left leg, clavicle, arm, thumb and finger joints of on the both sides. So we don't have any additional joints. So now the names are almost aligning with what we have given for the base character. So here we have these chains, the same names, spine, neck, head, the same kind of names we will witness here itself. Maybe there may be some number of more or less joints between the start and end bone. So let us also check it once. Here the spine is starting from this point to here. This is spine 1, 2, 3. So we have up to this one, and then if you look at the neck, we have only one neck joint here. So neck, we don't have any further joints in the neck. If you look at head, so this is the head joint. The clavicle is the smallest joint here. So we have only one joint. Some chains also may pose only single joints. There may not be a couple of joints or multiple joints. That is also called a chain. So arm joint generally starts with shoulder to the wrist joints. So here the left arm is this one, left arm, forearm and hand. So we have only 3 joints in the arm, and similarly we have different joints for each finger joints, that is listed out here. So it is almost okay. So only thing is there is some small variation in the pelvis and root of the target character and for the base character. So that also we have to sort it out. Once we have created IK rig for both base and target character and their respective chains, mostly aligning with each other, it is time to create IK Retargeter as well. So right click on this content browser, animation, IK Retargeter. So click on that, just open this. So here we have to mention what is the source character skeleton and what is the target character skeleton. So here our source character is this base character. Assign it and we will be able to see, and similarly you have to mention the target IK as well, which is our target character imported from Mixamo. So we have seen that, but here the height of the character is not matching with the base character, which we can align by increasing the height. Here it is a some cartoony style of character, the head height is quietly exaggerated, it is not aligning with the base character. It is not the problem. So we have to see that the major limbs like chest joint should align with the chest joint or shoulder joint should match. So later we can hands down the this target character. So, here if you go to the hierarchy, we have source and target character option. So, we are in this target character, let us hands down it. So, by creating this plus symbol, you can create a pose where we can match or align the limbs. So, click on this plus symbol. So, this is custom target pose. So, after that we will select the shoulder joint, down it. If you turn off the snap option, we may be able to freely move the joints. Here hands are also exaggerated, so we may not get the exact size and length. We have to ensure as possible alignment as possible. So, this way we have to ensure and save it. So, once they are matched in pose also, you can click on this OP stack option. So, here we have pelvis motion. It is asking the details about the pelvis as well as pelvis bone for the target for both source and this one. Here it is mentioned this is pelvis is the root for this, and then we have the root joint, and then if we click on FK chains, it is showing source and the target chains, spine to spine, neck to neck, head to head. This is very important step. We have to match each and every chain for both the source and the target character. Here names are almost identical, that is how it has been automatically matched. Okay. And then click on this one, this is also aligning. Click on the root motion, it is asking the source root. This is the source root, pelvis, this one root, target for this character. The most important step in retargeting process is aligning the pelvis joints. Majority of the Mixamo characters will not have root joints at the ground level. So, here I have created an additional joint in Maya at the ground level. Otherwise, generally we do not have root joint at the ground level for the Mixamo imported characters. So, in that case what we have to do is, here you have to right click on the pelvis and say set as pelvis. We have to repeat the same process for the base character as well, because the default mannequin characters will have the root joints at the ground level. So, we have to mention at the pelvis level by right clicking and say set pelvis. So, for the both characters, that way for the both base and target characters will have aligned pelvis. After specifying the pelvis and root joint locations, we have to specify the root motion in the source root and the target root, which is pelvis and which is root. This is a crucial step in retargeting the biped characters in Unreal Engine. Once the retargeting process is completed, we can cross check the retargeting with different animation assets available here in the asset browser. So, by selecting a couple of animations here, so jumping, landing, walking, or walk forward or walk backward. So, here I am selecting walk backward also, it is perfectly working. So, once we satisfy with this motion matching, we can simply click on export selected animations. So, we will see here export animations tab. So, you can give a prefix like RTZ and also mention the folder location, just export. So, just export. You can select multiple animations also, not just one. Export, and you will see the new animation asset for this custom character, which is perfectly aligning with the base character skeletal structure has been created, and this can be used in sequencer without any distortion and whatsoever. So, that is the advantage of retargeting the skeletons. So, whatever animations we have for the base character, you can simply transfer them without having to set keyframes and animating them manually in the sequencer. We can also use the created animation assets in the sequencer. So, let us create a new level sequence, this anims. So, the sequencer is opened. Now, add the character. So, this is the boy character. So, character is added. So, we need to add the animation assets that we have created. This is the animation asset we have exported. So, that is going backward, it is perfectly working. So, here what we have done is we have imported a character from third party website, and we have an animation inside our default third person character project. That animation we have remapped on this custom character without any distortion. So, this is how you can retarget any custom character with the available base characters. In this lesson, we have explored one of the most powerful animation workflows in Unreal Engine 5.7, retargeting to existing characters using motion matching system. Motion matching is the Unreal's next generation animation system that analyzes poses in real time and select the best frame for natural fluid movement. It works on all characters whether they came from Mixamo, Fab, MetaHuman or custom rigs. It has several advantages like reusing animations across different characters instantly, save time and cost by avoiding new motion capture or keyframe work, improve motion quality with smoother, more accurate motion matching results. Retargeting has some limitations. Even though retargeting is powerful, it can distort animations slightly due to skeleton and proportional differences, often causing foot sliding, jitter and loss of accuracy. So, it requires careful setup, gives inconsistent results on stylized or complex rigs, and it is less reliable than animating directly on the target skeleton in a controlled rig. Retargeting is not required if you are animating a character using control rig in the sequencer. You don't need retargeting because the animation is made directly on the target skeleton with no external skeleton involved. Retargeting also not necessary when source and target character shares the exact same skeleton and proportions. Let us summarize this tutorial. Retargeting is the process of taking animation data from one character to another character, what we call source character and target character. This toolset uses two key assets, IK rig asset and IK Retargeter. Basic requirement for retargeting is we must have at least two bipedal characters. In this example, we have used Unreal third person template character as the source character, and we have imported a Mixamo character into Unreal Engine, what we call as target character. Once both characters are ready, we have to set up source IK rig and the target IK rig. For this we have to open content browser, right click and say retarget IK rig for both characters. Once IK rig have been created for both characters, we have to create IK retargeter. So this IK retargeter has the option to specify the source character as well as the target character. Next we need to define the limbs and other appendages that will be transferred during the retargeting process on both the source and the target IK rigs. This is the method mapping each main branch of chain joints. This approach offers very greater flexibility, especially when retargeting between characters with significantly different bone structures. We generally focus on the major limbs like spine, left arm, right arm, neck, head, left leg, right leg. There is an important factor in the retargeting process, that is retargeting the root or pelvis, because the mannequin character has the root at the ground level, whereas Mixamo characters will not have the root at the ground level. We will consider the pelvis as the root. For this reason, we have to reset the root as the pelvis of this source character. This is a important step. After that, we have to create major joint chains. As we have discussed, the major joint chains of these 7, 2 legs, 2 arms, spine, head, neck, that way we have to create the major joint chains. Here we are also creating each and every finger joint chains. In latest versions of Unreal 5.6 onwards, we have a facility to create all the chains at one click, that is auto create chains. It will automatically create and rename all the necessary chains. So among all the chains, we can keep whatever chains are essential and we can discard whatever twisting chains or additional chain joints we can discard from the mapping procedure. Once chain creation process is complete, we need to map all the chains through IK Retargeter. We need to compare each and every limb, what is the starting and ending chain joints. Once we are satisfied in comparing the chains in retargeting process, now we can preview retarget results by selecting different animation which will be played on both characters at a time. If you feel the limbs are syncing at a time, you can export all the necessary animations by pressing this export option. So here select all the necessary animations and press export selected animations. We can also add a prefix tag before exporting so that the animations we are exporting will not mix up with already available animations in the content browser. We can also create a new folder for this newly retarget animations. This is the best method. So these exported animations can be further used in the Unreal Engine pipeline, in sequencer or in animation blending or blueprints. So once the chains have been mapped, we have selected animation asset and then exported for using further in the sequencer or blueprints. In Unreal Engine 5.6 onwards, there has been so many upgrades in modular rigging and retargeting features. Modular control rig now matured. Now ready-made modules besides human biped rigs, modules for quadrupeds and vehicles are now available. The built-in IK Retargeter has improved support for scaled differentially proportioned characters, more powerful control rig plus deformers plus physics in engine animation tools. You can now order custom deformers inside control rig and apply them via sequencer, enabling effects like contact deformation, stylized squash and stretches.
you.